Okay, all right, everybody, let's just settle into our meditation posture. And I still hear someone is... Oh, Gregory, would you mind muting yourself, please?
Okay, I will.
There we go. Okay, thank you. All righty, there we go. Okay, so if you are sitting at a desk with your feet down, just have them in a parallel position. So make sure your ankles aren't crossed and your ankles are about a hip's width apart. And other than that, if you're sitting in the regular meditation position with your legs kind of crossed, as you would be sitting on the floor, you can put a couple of cushions underneath either knee if your hips are tight. And have your sits bones raised slightly, 2 to 4 inches. That's for those people who are sitting on the ground. And hands in the meditation mudra. Right hand is nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And align your shoulders with your hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And just imagine you're putting some space in between those vertebrae. Just imagine lengthening, and you're just trying to coax all those muscles along the spine to release and relax. And while we're doing this, try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. Now your head is slightly tipped forward. You want to put a little bit of length in the back of the neck so it's not constricted. So if your chin is up, you tend to kind of bend at the back of the neck, and that kind of creates agitation in the mind, they say. If your head is tipped too far forward, it creates a dullness in the mind. So they're just somewhere in the middle. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Lips are slightly apart. Relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head. And relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes. The nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the head. The ears, the temples, back of the tongue, and release any tension in the back of the neck, the shoulders, the shoulder blades. Relax your throat, your chest, and belly, limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And just bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're inhaling, slightly cooler than the air you're exhaling. If you can hear any sounds in your environment, so coral, for example, has lots of pets, animals, or if you have family in your home and you can hear people moving about, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to engage with them or have the mind run off to investigate. Just keep bringing the mind back to the breath. And then just notice your thoughts and try and put some space in between your thoughts. And as they arise, they'll abide for a moment and then they'll just flow on if you don't engage with them. So try not to criticize your thoughts or have opinions about them. Just let them flow. And you can just watch them as an objective, interested observer. And if you like, you can put yourself on the bank of a river and imagine that river is your thoughts, just flowing on. But what is good to notice, as Mingyur Rinpoche said, is while you're sitting on the bank of the river, you're free from the river. So let's bring the mind to the breath and bring to mind all these people of your life. The ones you love, your family, your spouse, your children, your best friends, those people who support you, take care of you, your community, your neighbors. And then there's those people you have some difficulty with. Maybe you're afraid of them. Maybe they've harmed you. Maybe they've harmed your family. And this can range from just slight irritation at someone's behavior or the way they talk to really wanting to keep away from people because they're harmful. And then there's the strangers in your life. These are the people that you pass on the freeway in the car, or you're standing behind them at the grocery store. And we think little about them, but they pass through our lives very fleetingly. So the thing that we've been thinking about is that the friend, the enemy, and the stranger, they can all change place in your life at any time. And they all deserve our equal concern, because the friend, the enemy, and the stranger, just like us, want to be happy. And they don't want to suffer. And they all have this unbelievable capacity for wisdom and kindness and compassion and love and brilliance, incredible awareness, just like you do. So just think we'll do this purification practice this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just to remind us, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. There's nothing that we've done that's so awful that we can't deal with it somehow. And we create negativity with our mind, so we're going to create positivity with our mind instead and try and deal with it. So the first of the four opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, or in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, action, cause and effect. Everything we experience is due to our past actions. So having harmed others, we will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And given that we understand all about suffering in our lives, we've all experienced it to some level, logically we want to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. And just also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think, I'm sick of this suffering. So then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. And we're not asking this Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're wanting to use his methods, rely upon his methods to purify ourselves. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, the person who's leading you along the spiritual path, who's inspiring you, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus, and this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. So it's just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. Enlightenment itself, the symbol of enlightenment, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So in this case, the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. So think of a particular person that you maybe have harmed and try and develop in your mind a sense of compassion for them, a wish for them to not suffer. And then think of someone who's harmed you. And although a little bit more difficult, we understand that because of the suffering they've caused you, they will experience suffering in the future. So we try and develop a sense of compassion for them because of that. So we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing this practice of visualization of light and nectar and recitation of the mantra. So first we purify the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, almost like coming out of a hose, or you can think maybe of Niagara Falls, very forcefully, arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe So be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And the next is a purification of the speech, and again Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this kind of overflows quite forcefully and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, being divisive, all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the moment they hear your voice, it benefits their mind. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a room, a pitch black room, and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness of the room. So it's the same here. Just as the light hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all our depression and anger and neediness and resentment and jealousy and bitterness and grudges, irritation, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Sidam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions, which is the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And the next thing is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And this time imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. And if you wish, you can just do a couple of mantras each for the visualization of the body and of the speech and of the mind that we've just done. Or you can imagine light and nectar pouring into you and filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawakama Sitame Siddham Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyata sawa kama sita me siddham shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajrama me mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Now feel you are completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth step in the purification process, and probably the most important. It's really crucial that we make a decision to try to refrain from harming, and with our body, with our speech, and with our mind. So first of all, rejoice for all the effort that you've been making, coming along night after night, and all the work you've been doing on your own habits that are harmful to yourself and to others. And just think of something, that is a habit that you have that harms others and yourself. And just make a decision. Okay, so I'm going to try and refrain from this for 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 seconds or overnight while I'm asleep. If you sort of have a tendency to gossip about other people, if you say, because I'm not going to gossip about so-and-so for the next 8 hours because I'll be asleep, and you'll be able to keep that vow to yourself. So it's just all in you make an aspiration, a wish, and it gives us courage to change. So next, Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And imagine my teacher's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand this idea of emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. So you can be thinking of all phenomena as being empty, that they do not exist from their own side. Or you can think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created this evening doing this purification, and for Jay this morning, to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And some long life prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. To the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Ho Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelway Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurwe Legmon to Drub, Padag Sog Duje Gondu Jag Chen Shog. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to use kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. For Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Oh my goodness, the week has gone again. I don't know where is time going. It's very frightening. Okay, lots of love, everybody.